Evan Mobley, Scottie Barnes, I think are the clear two front runners so far. So which one of those guys would you take?
Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is that good.
All right, let's go into Rookie of the Year, Mort. I think right now it is a two-man race, but that leaves the possibility of other guys forcing their way in here as the season goes on, particularly Cade Cunningham. I just think the missed time and, he got off to somewhat of a slow start upon his return. You can't really consider him yet, but he's gotten a lot better.
And he's playing with crap for the most part.
Right, of course.
Isn't it helping? Yep.
But he's gotten a lot better lately. So, I think he will be in this conversation by the end of the year. Right now, I just don't think you can reasonably put him ahead of Evan Mobley, Scottie Barnes, I think are the clear two front runners so far. So which one of those guys would you take?
Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is that good. I think right now the Cavs are kicking themselves in the nuts for signing Lauri Markkanen.
Well, this weird Markkanen, Mobley, Allen front court is kind of working for them.
Yeah, I don't think so. And when you say working, I think it's the shooting that does it, but I don't think you need a Markkanen. I think if you replace Markkanen with Justin Holiday, it's the same result.
Yeah.
My point here is, I think they signed Markkanen because they kind of expected Mobley to take his time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hit the ground running, which is generally my point here. He's doing everything. He's scoring, he's rebounding, he's playmaking, he is defending at an extremely high level for a rookie. He's shooting the three. He's getting to the free throw line. He's finishing shots around the rim. He's not even turning it over. I mean, if he had more volume to his stats, you could make the argument that he should be an all-star candidate this year. He is that good. And I think that is what they were hoping him to be in year 3 or year 4. And what he's doing right now is basically a beginning of a legacy. I mean, this guy has Kevin Garnett upside.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what he is in 3 years. Good Lord, he's going to sit on this league in some capacity. And he's going to be the best player in Cleveland by a mile. And I love Darius Garland. I think Garland has gotten figured out. I think he's a future all-star. Mobley might become one of those perennial All-NBA kind of players. He's that good.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going into the draft, there were, Cade was a pre-consensus #1, but there were people saying, we understand that, but there's a decent chance that Evan Mobley is the best player in this draft class. And so far, you're seeing, I mean, it's funny, what you said about Mobley, this is what they envisioned from him in year 3 or 4. You could say the same about Scottie Barnes in Toronto. Yeah. I don't think
you can.
Anyone expected, on draft night, I don't think anyone expected him to be this good. And then he, comes out in summer league and just absolutely dominates. And you're like, oh, damn. And then he comes out in preseason, he's just hit the ground running, and regular season starts, he's the same deal. He's been fantastic as well. I think what separates the two for me is Mobley's defensive versatility. There just aren't players his size who can do what he does. There's just, I've never seen a 7-footer, or at least not in a long time, who can get caught out on a switch like that against a point guard and just be fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Cavs right now are 4th in defensive rating. That roster has no business.
Cavs.
right. I love Jarrett Allen has been playing really well too.
All-star candidate, honestly.
Yeah. But I mean, that roster has no business being a top 5 defensive outfit. I think Evan Mobley's a big reason why they are. So I'm with you, but this race is super fun. And again, I think Cade's gonna get right back into this mix soon. Looking at the odds, Mobley, Cade, and Barnes are all, Mobley's plus 220, Cunningham's plus 250, Barnes is plus 300. So this thing is still wide open.
Yeah.
I would like
There is somewhere in the league, by the way, there is a mad scientist general manager who is looking ahead and saying, when Evan Mobley and Scottie Barnes are unrestricted free agents, I'm going to be ready.
Ooh, 9 years down the road, they're already plotting
those two together.
Oh God.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the mad scientist thing, like where they are clearing the ever living crap out of the cap space to get those two together. And I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I just wanted
to say I wanted to give a shout to Franz Wagner, who I don't think, you can't put him over Mobley or over Barnes.
No.
But he has also been one of the few bright spots in Orlando this year.
Yeah.
So
he's been really good.
Yeah, I wanted to give him a shout out because I don't think we're going to talk about the Magic a ton this year, but he's been probably better than what they would have expected, which is making up because Jalen Suggs has gotten off to somewhat of a slow start, but having Wagner, outproduce what you would expect for him at that number 8 spot, hopefully evens the scales a little bit.
Yeah. I think so too. It's certainly, there's certainly more potential attached to him than I thought initially. I knew he was good coming in, but I didn't think he'd be this good in the professional ranks. He surprised me. He's come in like he's a playmaker. He's a little bit of a rebounder. He's actually not the worst defender. I knew he had like a reputation for being sort of a two-way player, but I thought the league was going to swallow him up in the first couple of years defensively. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's happened. I mean, yeah, he's gotten possessions here and there where he's gotten absolutely blown by or hasn't really picked it up, but he's a rookie. Like it's perfectly fine. So yeah, totally hear you. Good shout on Franz. Better than his brother at the very least. So he's got some right there. High bar. But I want to get back just to Scottie Barnes because I know we have Raptors fans listening in who are like, you really didn't dedicate a whole lot of time to Scottie Barnes. So that is a fair criticism. The reason I think you and I both have Mobley over, we said defense, and it's not like Scottie Barnes is a bad defender. By any stretch, he's a good defender.
No. Yeah.
It is really like the positional advantage or size advantage of Mobley being able to do what he does, the defensive upside. Like, I think Mobley is a lot better offensively than what he's showing in Cleveland because like he's averaging 14 per game, which to the naked eye is like pedestrian. Mm-hmm. But look at Darius Garland. I mean, now okay, they don't have Colin Sexton on the active roster for the rest of the season, so that could end up giving him a bump down the line. Markkanen is a shot taker. Jared Allen has upped his scoring. Like Mobley is actually taking a bit of a backseat. A little bit here and there, being a little bit more modest with his shot amounts. Whereas Scottie Barnes, to his credit, and this is a good thing, this is not something I wanted Scottie Barnes to do because he did it plenty in college. Scottie Barnes has just come in and said, you know what? Like, Eric Cartman mentality, it's going to ruin you guys. I'm going to take shots. Like, I am going to just take shots. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. He's done that, and I think that's tremendous. And I could totally see him, if he had, like, a good month, like a really good month, I could see this becoming a thing where he kind of leapfrogged Evan Mobley. Yeah. I mean, I have Mobley as my favorite, but Barnes isn't far off. Like, I'm not closing the door on the race at all. He could still freaking win it. It's just right now I've been more impressed overall with Mobley, but it's not like the level of impressed that I've been is like leagues ahead of how impressed I've been with Scottie Barnes. Like, those two are very, very close. And for whichever team signs both of them in 9 years, I look forward to it.
Yeah, I would be surprised if someone other than Mobley, Cunningham, or Barnes ends up winning Rookie of the Year. I couldn't tell you who's actually going to win it. Like, Mobley is my pick for now, but any one of those three, I think, is still very live. Jalen Green, I know he was one of the preseason favorites. I think he's probably further back, at least from that trio. Maybe he can get back in the race, but I think Barnes and Mobley have cemented themselves in the race, and then Cunningham, based on what we've seen out of him as of late, it's fair to assume that he's going to make a hard charge at it as well.
Agreed.